versus Till Virtual Media Day. UFC Fight Night Whittaker versus Till takes place this Saturday, July 25th at Flash Forum on Abu Dhabi's Yas Island. The full event will be simulcast airing live on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus in English and Spanish, with the prelims starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and the main card at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Today's event will begin shortly. As a reminder, this is being recorded. Please remember to select the hand icon in the bottom right corner of your screen if you wish to ask questions, and we will unmute you. Click the hand icon again when you are finished or to be removed from the queue. We will kick things off momentarily. Please stay tuned. And we will be kicking things off with former UFC light heavyweight champion Mauricio Shogun Hua. Mauricio, can you hear us, sir?
Hi, hello.
Hi. How are you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We will take the first question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press. Oh, I'm sorry. Gabriel Pangalangan
Okay.
with Dojo Drifter.
Oh, Shogun, how are you doing?
Good. And you?
I'm doing great. So I'm just curious how you're doing there in Abu Dhabi. How does it feel, you know, no crowds, no busy fight week? How do you feel coming into this fight?
Como é que você está assistindo com essa semana diferente, sem público, menos coisa e tal?
Essa vez é diferente, né? Sem público, a gente tá no hotel fechado. Mas é uma coisa que eu quis muito, então estou muito feliz, mesmo passando por essas adversidades.
Well, this time is very different. There is no crowd, and we're locked in a hotel room and all of that. So it's a different environment for sure. But I'm happy to be here. I'm very motivated because this is something I wanted. I wanted to fight. So it's been a good experience.
Yes, and your opponent this weekend is someone very familiar. You fought him. This is the third time you'll be fighting him. What are your thoughts on fighting Nogueira for the third time?
Eu acho que lutar com o Rogerio pela terceira vez, um cara que você conhece muito.
I'm very happy for this fight. I know Rogerio wanted this fight, and this is motivation for me. I'm very happy for this fight. I want this fight, and I'm very happy.
Yes, and of course you've been fighting for a long time already. You've been the champion. Do you see yourself fighting for much longer in the UFC? How far do you see yourself going?
Você já está no UFC há muito tempo, campeão, etc e tal, uma carreira longa. Você se vê lutando por muito tempo ainda? Quanto mais tempo você se vê lutando?
No, my idea is 2 or 3 more fights, and I finish my career.
Wow. And then what keeps you motivated now? You know, you've been through so many wars. What keeps you motivated to keep fighting?
O que te motiva?
My family, my fans, my daughters, my team, and I have a dream for my next fight win. This is my motivation.
All right. Well, best of luck this week, and Shogun will be tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will take the next question from Jay Anderson with Cageside Press.
Thanks very much. And Shogun, first of all, welcome back. I know you said you want 2 or 3 more fights and maybe then retire. I heard you promised your wife only 2 more. So is that being broken?
I broke it, but now it's real. Now 2 or 3 fights I stop. Long time ago, I say for my wife, we want 2 more fights. I fight 15, 16 fights, but now I want 2 or 3 more.
All right. Since you already have 2 wins over Nogueira, was there any hesitation on taking this fight?
Já que você já tem 2 vitórias sobre o Rogerio, teve alguma hesitação em aceitar essa luta?
No, I accepted this fight because I know Rogerio wanted this fight, and he touched Dana White for this fight, and the UFC touched for my manager, and for this motive, I wanted this fight too because I have a motivation for fighting Rogerio.
And how disappointing was the draw with Paul Craig? Because some people had you winning that fight.
Quão desapontador foi o empate com o Paul Craig, já que muita gente marcou a vitória para você?
Eu fiquei muito triste com o resultado. Todo mundo viu que eu venci. Mas, infelizmente, não está no nosso controle isso, né? Mas, realmente, a gente perde muito com isso, né? Um juiz errando, né?
Well, I got very sad with the result. Everybody saw that I won the fight, but it's not under our control. Unfortunately, we lose a lot with a decision like that. It has an impact, but yeah, I mean, what can we do? It's not on our control, and it was upsetting.
And last one for me, with your last couple of fights, is there any goal? Do you want it to be about legacy? Are you hoping to maybe get a late career title shot? What's the goal for these last few fights?
Qual o seu objetivo para essas últimas lutas? É deixar alguma coisa a mais, alguma luta que importe o legado, ter uma disputa de cinturão, lutar contra alguém específico? O que você pretende com essas últimas lutas?
No, for me, for my lost fighters, my lost fights is win. But for more important for me is 100% with me in fight. Não me cobro o resultado, eu acho que o mais importante é o melhor.
Well, I don't really pressure myself on a result for my last fights or anything like that. The only thing I want is to be able to give my best. That's all.
All right. Well, welcome back again. Looking forward to the fights this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will take our next set of questions from Andrew Whitelaw with Whitelaw Sport.
Brought up with this fight, with you guys having fought twice before, how do you look back now on your time in Pride and those great matchups and how important they were?
Hoje em dia, como que você olha para trás daquela época do Pride tua e aquelas grandes lutas que aconteceram no Pride que você fez e como que você se lembra dessa época?
Eu fico muito feliz quando olho para trás da minha carreira, minhas lutas. Sou um cara realizado e tenho certeza que Deus me ama muito e me abençoou muito. Então, eu só tenho orgulho da minha carreira.
Well, when I look back at those times and those fights, I get very happy because I really feel I'm a very blessed guy. God for sure loves me and has blessed me with so many great times and great journeys. So I only get happy and have joy when I look back and remember my career and those old days.
Do you feel you've had a little bit more time to reflect recently? With the lockdowns and everything, have you had a chance to look back on your career? I mean, you fought really a who's who, so many legends of the game. How much does that mean to you?
Você acha que agora com a pandemia, o lockdown e tudo ficando em casa, você teve mais chance de pensar no passado, refletir, porque você teve uma carreira incrível, lutou com os melhores do mundo? Você acha que você refletiu, pensou mais no passado com esse tempo de pandemia? O que você pensa disso tudo?
Em relação ao quê?
Em relação à tua carreira, se o fato de você ter ficado em casa, por causa da pandemia, te fez pensar mais no passado?
Não, acho que não, porque a minha rotina foi igual. Eu mantive treinando normal, com a minha família, me mantive ocupado o tempo todo nessa quarentena. Não fez eu pensar algo diferente assim, nada não.
No, actually not. The quarantine and the lockdown didn't really made me reflect more or think more about the past, let alone dwell. I stayed active and busy, even though there were limitations. I was always in my family. I was training. I was doing something, so I was very busy. Didn't really spend too much time reflecting on the past during quarantine.
This is such an incredibly interesting sport. We find ourselves on Fight Island. How does this rank, of all the things you've done and places you've fought in your career? Does this represent a bit of a milestone for you fighting on Fight Island on this card?
Você já viveu tanta coisa na carreira, etc, etc. De alguma forma, essa nova experiência, estar lutando na Ilha da Luta, te faz... isso é uma grande coisa na tua carreira? É um momento épico que você lembra? Tipo assim, porra, eu tô lutando na Ilha da Luta, uma coisa especial ou não? Como que você
Não, acho que isso vai ficar gravado para sempre na minha memória, né? Ter lutado na pandemia, na ilha, não sei o quê. Então, acho que com certeza isso vai ficar marcado. E poucas pessoas lutaram na quarentena, né? Então, vai ficar marcado para mim isso com certeza.
Well, yeah, I think for sure this is going to be something I'll remember. It's an opportunity, a different opportunity that very few people had or will have to have fought on the quarantine, and here in the island and all that. So it's a new experience, and it's something I'll remember, and for sure it's going to be on my memory forever.
And finally, of the old school rule sets, I mentioned Pride earlier, soccer kicks, all that. Is there anything you missed? Anything you'd bring back?
Eu mencionei o Pride anteriormente, pensando nas regras antigas dos velhos tempos. Tem alguma regra que você traria de volta, se você pudesse?
Com certeza, se eu pudesse, as do Pride, né? Com pisão e tiro de meta.
Well, for sure. If I could, I would bring back Pride rules with the foot stomps and the soccer kicks.
Amazing. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Augusto Nias-Gay with Somos MMA.
Hi, Shogun. How are you?
Good, and you?
Fine, thank you. My first question is, it's always hard to fight against someone who already knows you, and you two have already fought twice. So how do you prepare this fight? Is it special?
For this fight, Nogueira have your game in the box, very good box. Ele é canhoto.
Southpaw.
He's southpaw. It is very difficult. And but I train a lot for Rogerio, for St. Paul, for his very good boxing. I train everything.
Okay, and how did the pandemic situation affect your preparation, if it affected?
Como é que a situação da pandemia afetou a sua preparação? Se afetou.
Então, in my city, my camp for my city, Maringá, and Maringá don't have the quarantena, and I train normal for my team, for my sparrings, everything.
I prepared in my city, my hometown of Maringá, and over there we didn't have a lockdown or a strict quarantine, so it didn't really affect much. I could prepare normally with my team.
Okay, and finally, for me, what is the thing that surprised you the most in this fight island?
O que mais te surpreendeu na Ilha da Luta?
Eu acho que a estrutura que o Cheque deixou pra gente, eu acho, de avião fretado, de hotel, resort, o pessoal arrumando os quartos, eu acho que realmente foi uma estrutura muito boa, e um país que está numa quarentena, eu acho que fiquei impressionado com tudo isso.
Well, what impressed me the most is the structure that the UFC and the sheiks here left to us. It's really impressive, from the charter flights to the safe zone, the hotels, and all the cleaning and the testing was really impressive. Especially it's a country that is on quarantine, taking it very seriously, and to pull off all the structure here for us, it's amazing.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck for the fight.
Thank you.
And we will take our last set of questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Shogun, leading into this fight, Rogerio has said this will be his retirement fight. What does it mean to you to be the final fight of his career? Win, lose, or draw, this will be his last one.
Significa saber que essa é a última luta dele, você vai ser o último lutador que ele vai enfrentar, ganhando, perdendo, empatando, ele não vai lutar mais.
I'm very happy for this. Nogueira is the legend in the sport, and I am your last fight.
Yes.
I am his last fight. I'm very happy, and Nogueira, he's good fighter and good person. He's the legend.
You have 2 wins over him, and obviously 2 great wars. What would be the perfect way to end this one? Would you like to knock him out? Would you like to finish this off with a big finish, or kind of what is your ideal fight?
I hope you win whatever way, for points, for submission, for knockout, or whatever. I'm very happy for win this fight again.
And last question, Shogun, you mentioned 2 or 3 fights left in your career. You fought everybody, but in a perfect world, what do those 2 or 3 fights look like for you? Are there certain fighters or opponents that you'd like to get before your career is over? Kind of like Rogerio wanted one more with you. What would be your ideal scenario for your last 2 or 3 fights.
Do mundo e tal, tem alguma luta, alguma coisa que você queira para essas últimas lutas da carreira? O Rogério queria lutar com você, por exemplo. Tem alguém que você queira, alguma coisa?
No, my focus in Rogerio now, and after my fight, I talk to my manager and I see my next walk. But now, only focus in Rogerio.
Thank you, Shogun.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mauricio. Those are all the questions we had for you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eu fecho aqui.
Next up, we will be joined by former UFC middleweight champion and #1 ranked contender, Robert Whittaker. We are now joined by former UFC middleweight champion and #1 ranked contender, Robert Whittaker. Robert, thank you for the time today, sir.
No, my pleasure's all mine.
We will kick things off with Gabriel Gonzalez from Cage Side Press.
Hey, Rob. So you had said after the last fight you wanted to travel more. You didn't want to just be in Australia. Does being on Fight Island live up to that in that regard?
Yeah, a little bit. With the world the way it is, and the fact we're not allowed to leave the island, it's a little different to my plans. But it's good to be here.
Have you enjoyed the experience so far?
It's been great. It's been a great experience. Everything's gone so smoothly. The way the UFC have set things up here have been amazing. So, yeah, can't complain.
You've talked about you don't get into the war of words with these guys. You just go out there and let the skills do the talking. But Darren said he's been trying to talk trash to you and it's just not working. What kind of stuff has he been saying? Has he been sliding into your DMs like he does everybody else?
I think a couple of times. I don't know. I don't pay attention to Mustings though. Like I just worry about what I'm doing. I don't have time for a lot of that stuff. I have a lot of things I'm juggling that I'm really working on at the moment.
So you stepped away in March, and you've talked about it a lot. You're just feeling that burnout and everything else. Now that you're back on the track, and you're obviously a top contender, you know everything that goes into being the champion and the pressure and the attention. Just very bluntly, do you still want the belt like you did before, knowing how much stress and everything else comes with it?
Honestly, nothing's changed with my hunger to fight. My hunger to fight before was the exact same as it is now. The belt was always just a consequence of winning, and I want to win. I want to fight.
I guess I would say this way. Robert Whittaker becomes the champion again. Would you do anything different in terms of just, I guess, how you conduct yourself and just take care of yourself mentally, in terms of dealing with everything that comes with being the champ?
Yeah, I'm sure to have learned a thing or two. It's I would hope so. But that's neither here nor there. My biggest concern is just trying to topple Darren Till.
Last one. Can we get your prediction for Adesanya versus Paulo Costa?
No idea. I think Adesanya has the skill set necessary to beat him. But Costa's dangerous. He's very dangerous. In a lot of different aspects. Got to wait and see.
Thanks, Rob.
And we will take the next questions from Jordan Wahlberger with The Horn.
Hey, Robert, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good. When you look at Darren Till's previous fights, you quite the accomplished wrestler yourself. Do you take anything from that Tyron Woodley win of how do you go and you defeat someone like Darren Till?
Yeah, you punch him in the head as hard as you can. It seems to be a good way of winning.
Do you think about do you look at your wrestling though? You are someone who has become a great wrestler in Australia, and do you think that's a way that you can go and defeat Darren Till this week?
Yeah, I'm only going to shoot takedowns for this fight. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to taking it to the ground and just keeping him there.
What's been your training like? Obviously, during the pandemic, there's a lot of people that had you had any issues trying to find training partners or anything else like that?
No, fortunately enough, our team has been able to self-quarantine ourselves, and we've been fortunate enough to be able to just stick together during this time. We usually don't outsource too much, so we have all our partners. We're all middleweights. We just continued hustling, continued grinding during this period.
You have the advantage of being the last card on Fight Island. Have you had the opportunity to talk to anybody before about their experience and what to expect fighting in the arena with the heat, with everything else? You've never fought in Abu Dhabi before, and have you had any opportunity to talk to anyone about that?
No, I have not yet.
Okay. Is that something you would plan to do, or is that something you feel like you need to do, or?
No, my coach has a lot of contact here. He's been here multiple times, so he's been able to get a lay of the land. He's helped me with a lot of tips on what to do and what not to do. So I've been very fortunate in that regard to have plenty of information at my disposal already.
Awesome. And last question for me, how do you mentally kind of prepare to come back after, losing your title, making a comeback? And obviously your goal again is to be a champion as you can provide for your family and represent your country.
Yeah, I guess I'm just excited to do it. I enjoy doing what I do, and this is what I do. I'm good at it. Representing the country and going out there and doing my thing, that's just what I was made to do. It's just a natural result of things.
Awesome. Congratulations and best of luck this week.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Nesta McGregor with BBC.
Good evening, it is here, Robert from the UK. Despite the accent, I'm really looking forward to this fight, and I'd like to say I'm neutral, by the way. You mentioned taking time off after that defeat and kind of looking within yourself. Lockdown has made a lot of people do that, search for answers and find their true selves. So just tell me a little bit about what you did. Was it go and sit in the mountains and try and find the hunger again? Was it a lot of quiet time?
No, I just spent plenty of family time. I took my kids to daycare. I picked them up from daycare sometimes. I made them peanut butter sandwiches. I did all the little things that I couldn't do normally, and that was very refreshing in a way.
Okay, Jorge Masvidal says that Darren Till is the hardest puncher he's ever faced, and that's some accolade. Can you prepare for something like that? Do you get your coach to whack you with a sledgehammer or to hit you with a pneumatic drill? And once you feel the strike of someone, does that automatically change your game plan when you think, I've never been hit like this before? I know you joked about your wrestling.
Don't know. To be honest, I think the biggest secret in this game is to not get hit. I'm going to be doing my best to try to not get hit. And hit him. That's my secret game plan. If you're wondering, I'm going to try and hit him and not get hit.
Good tactics. And final question from me: what does the the future look like for you? Are we talking Usman, or if Dana said, drop down and maybe Conor or someone in the welterweight division? Where's your future?
I think you got those marked up a little bit, but regardless, my future is only in. It's just focusing on Darren Till, and then once I get through with him, I'm going to get back to the board, help some of the lads prepare for the next fights, try to get a fight lined up around the same time, and just get back to work. But right now, my biggest thing and biggest concern is just making weight, eating some good food, and then doing my job.
No worries, and you're right. Yes, I did get the weight classes mixed up. Listen, I'm a neutral. Good luck. I want to see it go all the way. I want, all 25 minutes. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Julian Kiewicz with Independent Media.
Can you hear me?
Yo.
Just in a sense, I know you basically came across as basically nonchalant about the whole title and all those celebrations around it. Deep down, would you actually feel that you would like to get that rematch with Izzy in a sense? Would you want him to take that victory over Costa? Is it something that you'd like to get back from him specifically?
Yeah, I don't know about his fight and what's going on in the immediate future, but at one point in time, I'd love to run that back just as a competitor, as a fighter. I don't like knowing the fact that I lost to someone in combat. That to me is terrible. So I'd like to get that back someday, whether it's for the belt or not.
Cool. And then also you spoke about making some peanut butter sandwiches for your kids also now. Do you feel that even despite lockdown, your preparation mentally was better now in this pandemic than what was before your previous fight, spending more time with your family and just focusing on the more important things?
100%. I think there's a silver lining to everything. And honestly, I've loved the way I've prepared for this. I'm much happier in the gym. I'm much happier outside of the gym. I'm just happy as Larry. I'm looking forward to getting in there and just getting to work.
God bless and all the best with you, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Cheers.
And we will take the next questions from Alistair Bishop with MMA Republic.
Rob, how are you, sir?
Good, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. Rob, my first question for you is how do you decide on how much time is spent on fight week and how much is spent on gaming?
Mate, I haven't stopped playing video games. Like, this is the first time I've left my room in days. Yeah.
Is it a matter that you have to decide on when's gaming time and when's training time?
No, there's no training time. Like the work's been done. I'm just making weight right now and then doing whatever the UFC asks me and then punching on Sunday.
Fantastic. I just want to talk about your little rejuvenation period. Do you think going 50 minutes with someone like Yoel Romero kind of puts you in a position where you really need to take a bit of time off?
Yeah. I don't want to give all the credit for having, a break from that guy. That's too much credit for him. He's a terrible fight, by the way. Like he's a hard guy to fight on the best of days. But no, I think honestly the reason for my break was a culmination of the last 5 years. A lot of things have changed. Who I was 5 years ago isn't who I am today. My life has changed in multiple ways. I have 3 more kids than I had then. And I just don't think I let myself acclimatize to it all.
Okay. I just want to talk about the rise of the talent from Australia and New Zealand. It seems we were seeing a big surge in from that region. What do you think is behind that sort of success in the rise of guys like yourself and Volkanovski and Adesanya and so on?
Mate, we've always been good at combat sports down here. It's just I think it just took us a little longer to get our feet in the door. But once they're in there, like what we're in now, and we're having a lot of success, and the talent is only growing down here. So, I think the future for MMA and combat sports in general down this is only getting better.
With the win, obviously not looking past Darren Till, we know you have a tough assignment coming up. Where do you think that puts you in the division if you can stamp a win over Darren Till?
I haven't even thought about it. I can't give an answer for that. I want to fight Darren and just eat some good food, go back to my family.
Fantastic. We wish you all the best, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Luis Green with MMA Crazy.
Hi, Rob. Of course, you had some light-hearted banter with Darren Till on social media on the run-up to this fight. But with all of that aside, what do you think of Till as an opponent? What do you think he brings to the table in this matchup?
I think he's a very dangerous opponent. He's obviously got a dangerous skill set coming into it. But, I think I just have the more complete skill set. I think I'm just slightly better in all angles. And, I look to make good use of all my weapons and arsenal.
And Jack Hermansson obviously won his bout last week. He has his eyes on the winner of you and Till, and he predicts you'll come out successful. What are your thoughts on that? And do you see a matchup with him being a possibility with a win on Saturday?
Who knows? It's hard to say. I guess we can talk after I get the job done. It's gonna be a hard fight. I've got to get in there and I've got to take it from him. It's hard. It's very hard for me to plan anything past Sunday.
All right. Well, good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rob. That is all the time we actually had for you, sir. You are good to go.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Joining us next will be UFC light heavyweight Antonio Rogerio Nogueira. We now welcome UFC light heavyweight Antonio Rogerio Nogueira. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you.
We will take the first question from Nesta McGregor with BBC. Nesta, please go ahead. Oops. Oh, my mistake. Okay, we will take our first question from Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Hey, thanks very much. And, welcome back. First of all, I wanted to ask, you obviously have a lot of shared history with Shogun going all the way back to Pride. Why was it important to you to get this third fight with him in particular?
Yeah, we made for me the best fight in my career, in 2005 in Pride. So we have a good game, me and Shogun. We made a good fight. He's very aggressive. He have a big knockout power. I think I have too. It's gonna be a good fight. We have a lot of chance to be watching the each other game since 2005.
And what would a win over Shogun this Saturday mean to you?
Yeah, for me, means a lot. Means a lot, because I think we made the best fight in my career, in 2005, and I think in 2015 I didn't lost, when I won the first round, I think was for 2 points. I think the fight is supposed to be a draw, so that time I came hungry to win.
There's been a lot of talk about retirement, about this being your last fight. Is this your last fight, or is there any way that you say, okay, one more?
última luta, você ainda vai pensar em fazer mais I think gonna be the last one. I think it's a good time to retire. I'm 44 years old. Is there a new generation coming? I think it's a good time to retire.
And of course, you and your brother were a huge part of Pride, a huge part of the sport. Well, what do you want people to remember you for?
Você, Rodrigo, foi grande parte do esporte do Pride. O que você quer que as pessoas lembrem? I think was a good master, we in the sport since I'm Pride time. So now is like a third generation, and me, Rodrigo, and Anderson Silva, the first one. Then the second one, Jose Aldo. Now is the third one generation, the Brazilian fighter. So I'm still there. I still fight. I still with our heavy hands. Now I think the people I'm gonna try to put the people to remember was a good box.
When you talk about that new generation, that third generation of fighter, what advice would you give to those who are starting out and coming up now?
Falou dessa terceira geração, o que você pode dizer para essa nova geração que chegou? I can tell them training hard old style, like before. Still training hard, still believe in your dream, not something like that.
And last one for me, in terms of memories, special moments for your career, what was the most special moment for you?
Qual foi o melhor momento para você? I think when I fought in Japan in Pride, 2005, 2004, 2003, was a good time. Was the best shape in my life. And when I debuted in UFC, 2009, 2010, was a good time. I made a good fights there in Japan and in UFC too.
All right. Well, thanks very much for the time. Best of luck this weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will take our next questions from Manabu Takashima with MMA Planet.
Minuturo.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so you started the MMA career in Japan. So can you let us know what is your best memory in Japan?
Qual a sua melhor memória do Japão?
I think my best memory in Japan when I fought with Sakuraba, maybe 2002, was a good time. No, I just made a big seizure in my arm, and it was a bad time. No, like 1 year didn't fight. When I fought him to make like a main event, was a very good fight for me. I fought very well with Sakuraba. I think was the best time.
Okay.
Just at the beginning of my career, and I had a chance to fight and with the big name guy, and the dangerous guy.
Okay, and also, you will fight in Shogun as a last fight, not in Brazil. You have to fight in the Fight Islands. So, what was your feeling? You have to fight in the last time, in Abu Dhabi in the Fight Island.
Você vai lutar com o Shogun, a tua última luta, e não vai ser no Brasil, não vai ser aqui.
Yes, difficult now for me because I want to fight in front of my family, my friends, my students there. But now they booked the fight here in Abu Dhabi. But we had a big problem in the world, the COVID-19. So they cancel all the events in the world. And UFC now they open the chance now to fight here in the island and there in America. But for Brazilian guys who live outside America, it's difficult to go there. And I thought, no, if it's not come here, I don't have a chance to fight this year. So I think it's a good opportunity now to be here, to fight here. It's gonna be good. For me, it's a different, but a good experience to be here with new guys, with a new generation here.
Okay, and you always, real warrior. And what do you want to show to the world in last fight?
Você sempre foi guerreiro. Você quer mostrar nessa última?
Yeah, for me, I want to do the best fight I can. Like we did. I know I'm not in the best shape like at 2005, but I wanna make fight like that. Like I did with Shogun 2005. One big and exciting fight.
Okay, muito obrigado.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I miss Japan, man.
We miss you a lot.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Andrew Whitelaw with Whitelaw Sport.
I mean, just right there seems to be so much affection for your time fighting in Japan and Pride. I'm sure fans come up to you almost every day to talk about it. Why do you think people love Pride and that time when you were fighting so much? What do you think was so special about it?
Você parece lembrar muito bem da época do Japão, né? Era tão especial do Japão.
Yeah, it was a different, because for me was a young, and I had a lot of feeling. I fight with my brother, and together we were always together, and he was a good, a big champ, So it was a big time for me to still there with him, to fight. We represent a big team like BTT. Was like a lot of stars there. The training was very hard, so I wasn't at the best time in my career, and and getting good. I was in a good shape. Was a very good time for me.
Shogun says he'd love to bring back the old rule set. How do you feel about that?
Was very good. Yeah, I think very good, but I prefer this rule now. I don't want to kick somebody in the face and the head. No. Soccer kick.
Well, yeah, I mean that's certainly one thing that's changed a lot. What do you think the biggest and most important changes are in the sport? A lot has changed since those days. What do you think the most important changes have been?
Você acha que foi a mudança mais importante daquela época?
I think because we fight in the cage, no? And the cage is totally different, the rules. Because when I fight the ring, I put the head outside and the referee put the fight in the middle. So we had that chance to rest a little bit. And the cage, we doesn't have chance to rest. No, if you in the cage, you fall in the ground, and the guy put you against the cage and hit hard, so you don't have time to breathe, now to rest. So I think in UFC we have to be like more athlete. I think so. The guys are like have to make a lot of condition train now. They have to train wrestling too. I think it's good. It's good for the guy who have a good wrestling too.
Thank you, sir. Good luck this weekend.
I'm gonna try to follow the knockout for this time. Yeah, I trust in my hand. For my last 3 fights, I have won one loss, but I have two big winner by knockout. So I trust I have a heavy hand. Gonna try to follow the knockout.
And we will take our next question.
Thank you, mate.
Oh, sorry, Andrew.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
And we will take our next question from Augusto Niez-Gay with Somo MMA.
Hi, Rogerio. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thank you. My first question is: how special is for you to close your career in this fight island that is also very special?
É especial para você encerrar a carreira aqui no.
Yeah, it's a different experience for me, to be here and we have a gym here close by here in Dubai. So we have a lot of students here in Dubai. So I came here like twice a year from Brazil, but I think gonna be very good experience now to fight here against a big opponent like a Shogun.
And which kind of fight? How do you imagine the fight on the weekend? Which are going to be the keys for your victory?
Como é que você imagina? Qual vai ser as chaves para a tua vitória?
Yeah, I think the key for the victor for fight against Shogun to fight like smart now, because I think he gonna bring a lot of strategy fight now, because he's a good strike, but I think he's gonna try to put me down, and I have to make a good take it out defense. I know I've been work hard this.
And after your retirement, are you going to still related with the mixed martial arts?
Depois de se aposentar, você ainda vai ficar trabalhando.
Yeah, for sure. We have a team like Nogueira. I'm gonna try to work with the new talents.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antonio. Those are all the questions we had for you, sir.
Thank you.
And next up, we will be joined by UFC welterweight Alex Cowboy Oliveira. Excuse me. Next up, we will be joined by the UFC heavyweight Alexander Gustafsson. We are now joined by former UFC light heavyweight title challenger and making his UFC heavyweight debut, Alexander Gustafsson. Alex, thank you for the time today, sir.
Thank you.
And we will take our first question from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Alex. Welcome back. So the obvious question, of course, kicking off is coming back from retirement. How quickly after you retired did you start putting that into your head? And was the timing and things worked out well to come back at this point?
Yeah, after a month or two at home. About that, and then I want to go back to training, and I can't train without a motivation. So and now I'm here.
Do you regret retiring? Do you wish maybe you're just kind of taking a step back and taking a step away rather than announcing your retirement? Was it an emotional moment? I mean, anything like that?
It was an emotional moment. Nothing else.
You're coming back as a heavyweight, which was an interesting move. Was that something you planned, or was it just about this opportunity with this particular fight?
Well, no, it was. I felt it was the right time for me to move up one weight class because I'm pretty heavy and pretty big. So I felt really good to step up one weight class and try out the heavyweight division. And then I got the fight with Werdum, and it was just something that fit me very well, and I felt very excited about.
Do you feel like this is a permanent move, or is this a test? See how this fight goes and go from there.
Yeah, a little bit. I see, I challenge myself and see how it goes. I will win, of course, but let's see how I feel about it.
Were you happy to get a guy like Werdum in your first heavyweight fight? I mean, former champion, very accomplished guy. You're not facing some random guy. This is a well-known name. I mean, did that mean something to you in your first fight at heavyweight to get a guy like Werdum?
Yeah, it does. He's a legend of the sport. He's a former champion, and it's a perfect way to come back.
Last one for me. We have seen a lot of guys move up weight classes and find success. Of course, a guy you're familiar with, Daniel Cormier, became champion. We've seen it with Robert Whittaker on this card going from welterweight to middleweight. I don't know how rough the weight cut was for you to 205, but do you feel like this is a chance to, do some really great things in this weight class if all goes well? Because we've seen that success out of a lot of guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll beat Werdum on Saturday, and then we take the next one.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Gabriel Pangalangan with Dojo Drifter.
Hello from the Philippines, Alexander. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, so you're now at heavyweight. You actually don't look that much different from when you fight at light heavyweight. Do you feel any different in how you move in training and now 1 week away from the fight, or a few days away from the fight?
No, I normally walk around in like a natural heavyweight, so that's what I'm training at and move around that the whole training camp. So I feel I'm just stronger
I'm stronger than I usually is in light heavy.
And this commitment to the UFC, what is it like now? I mean, do you have several fights lined up?
No, I got Werdum now, and that's my only focus.
All right, and when it comes to Werdum, how did that matchup come to be? Did you request for him particularly, or is this just a fight that was offered?
That's a fight that we all agreed on. Werdum want to fight me, and I want to fight him, and that's how it goes. And I'm very happy that he wants to fight me, and he's a legend of the sport. So I'm very excited for this bout.
Yeah, so we understand that you love to compete. I was just curious, that are you back simply to compete, or is this a legit title run? Is that still the goal, to get that heavyweight title, to get a belt?
I'm here to win my fights. I'm here to win my fights, and we just take it from there. And when I'm end up in a situation where I can touch the belt, then we go for the belt. But right now, it's just one fight at a time. I'm fighting Werdum. I'll beat Werdum on Saturday. Then we take the next one.
All right. Well, best of luck with everything, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll take the next questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press.
Hey, Alex. I'm curious about how much do you expect to weigh on Saturday?
I weigh about 107, 108 kilos.
Gotcha. Talking about it, you're a very reserved guy. Are you liking the setup on Fight Island? You don't have to see as many people in person, and I'm assuming a little less media.
I love it. It fits me perfect.
What's a typical day look like for you when you're over there in quarantine?
Well, we have the resort here, which is the island is a safe zone, so we can move around the island. But I did my quarantine time for 4 days. It was I understand we have to do it, so I did it, but it wasn't the funnest thing I've done in my life. But now we're here and we have this island we can move around in, and it's good. It's perfect. They take care of us. We have everything here, training facilities, food. So it works really good.
How are you adjusting to fighting early in the morning local time?
Good. When it's time to fight, it's time to fight, and I'll be ready for it.
Final question. I guess a lot of people, you talked about it when you stepped away, it was in the moment and everything. Win or lose, do you feel like you're going to be back for a minute? Fans can expect to see the Mauler in action for a while still?
Yes, I'm here to stay.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Alistair Bishop with MMA Republic.
Alex, how are you, sir?
Thank you. Good.
Good. My first question is just to kind of get an idea in retirement, what do you think was the deciding factor that made you decide to come back and compete?
Well, I missed the competition, and I need my training. So for me to train good, I need a goal. And for me, that's competition. So it came naturally for me to come back.
And the decision to come back at heavyweight, was it based on avoiding weight cuts or just being as comfortable as possible in competition?
It's all about feeling good and have a good training camp. This felt like the best way for me to come back. And I'm a pretty big guy, so heavyweight for me comes very natural.
What sort of speed advantage do you think you'll have in the heavyweight division, especially with your boxing?
A lot.
Fantastic. Your teammate, Khamzat Chimaev, we saw him burst onto the scene now. We've seen him in Brave before. What do you make of him, and what do you think about his future?
Very good. He's a future world champ for sure. He loves this. This is his life. He's going to go all the way.
And is he someone you spend a lot of time with on the mat?
He's my main sparring partner right now.
So does that younger sort of blood also make you want to get back into competition? You feel like you don't want to let the youngsters run away with it?
Yeah, he pushes me all day.
Fantastic. And what do you make of Fabricio Werdum as an opponent for you? Obviously, some people would say that he's arguably one of the greatest heavyweights to do it.
Yes.
What do you see? How do you see him as an opponent?
Very dangerous. He's legit on the ground. Take a punch. He hits hard. He's a heavyweight. All the heavyweights hits hard. And he's also a legend of the sport, so I can't wait to beat him on Saturday.
Thank you so much, and all the best, man.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Augusto Niesgay with Somos MMA.
Hi, Alexander. How are you?
Good, thank you.
And my first question is, how tough was to prepare your comeback fight in the middle of this pandemic? Did this context affect you?
No, not really. We have been pretty open-minded in Sweden when it comes to Corona. We'll be able to do our work, which I'm very happy for. But of course, it's been tough to getting in some sparring partners, etc. But yeah, well, I had a really good camp.
And I know that you have said that you want to go one fight at a time, but you have intentions to stay in the heavyweight division, or you could go down to 205?
Let's see what the future brings. I'm here to fight now in heavyweight, and yeah, when I beat him on Saturday, we take it from there.
Okay, and taking into account that the fact that you're going to fight in an unusual time schedule, do you think you're going to have some advantage due to the fact that there is not so much time difference between Abu Dhabi and Sweden? Do you think this will be a factor?
A factor? I don't know. I don't know, but it's nothing I count on. I'm prepared for the best Werdum, and I know he's ready for the challenge, and he's ready for the time difference. So.
And what do you think about this new Fight Island? What did you expect from it, and what do you think?
Good. It's really good. The UFC has done a really good job here. We have everything. They take care of us very good, and we have everything we need for competition. So.
And do you think that is there anything about this Fight Island that UFC should implement in every fight?
Well, it's not that much of a different than it is a regular fight week. So they managed to do it really good.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
And we will take our last set of questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting. Oh, my mistake. All right, Gus, that's actually all the questions we had for you, sir. You are good to go.
Thank you.
And next up, we will welcome UFC welterweight Alex Cowboy Oliveira. We now welcome UFC welterweight Alex Oliveira. Alex, thank you for the time today, sir.
Valeu. Tamo junto aí.
And we will take our first question from Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much. And welcome back, Alex. I wanted to ask you, first of all, I mean, Brazil's been very hard hit by the coronavirus. We've seen a lot of positive tests from fighters and corners. How worried were you about that, and how did it affect your camp?
O Brasil não está nada bem com o coronavírus, né? Os atletas, corners e tal, deram positivo. Como é que isso te afetou no teu camp?
Poxa, a gente fizemos um camp, né, cara, moda antiga, né, medieval. Só que teve o meu mestre escolheu as pessoas certas para a gente manter esse foco aí. E essas pessoas não podiam ter contado com outras pessoas também, entendeu? Então a gente manteve esse foco aí para manter a tranquilidade. Mas fora isso, tinha aquela preocupação que a gente passa pelo aeroporto, nós ia passar pelo aeroporto de São Paulo, né, e até chegar no hotel. Então a gente tinha um pouquinho de receio, né, que tudo podia acontecer.
We had an old school, like very medieval camp. You know, we chose the right people to come in there, and those people couldn't be in contact with anyone else, so that made us a little more relaxed. But on the way here, we had to get on a plane and go through São Paulo, so there's always a chance of something happening.
Have you ever had a camp like that before? Was it similar to earlier in your career? Or?
Já tinha feito campo assim? Antigamente você treinava assim?
Não, eu comecei treinando mais ou menos assim, mas quando eu entrei na academia há quase uns anos atrás, eu peguei um pouco desse treino medieval. Então, pra gente, poxa, mudou muito, mas, pô, foi de boa, com certeza. Os primeiros dias foi ruim, mas depois eu vou estar se adaptando, né, e mantendo foco.
In the beginning of my career, about 11 years ago when I joined the gym, we did a bit of that medieval training, but, you know, we had to adapt, but we figured it out.
And when you say medieval training, what does that involve?
Quando você fala treino medieval, como é que é?
Treino medieval é aquilo que você não faz mais dentro da academia. Você não tem uma academia de musculação, você tem que treinar. Como explicar para você? Levantar pneu, furar buraco, carregar nego nas costas, empurrar carro. É mais ou menos assim.
It's when you don't have a lot of things available to you in the gym. So, you know, we lift tires, we carry our teammates on our back, and carry rocks, and push cars, whatever we have to do.
All right. Now, one of the interesting twists in this fight is that you're going to be fighting early in the morning. Are you doing anything in particular to prepare for that, changing your sleep schedule? Oh, did I lose you?
We're here.
Okay, I was just wondering, because you're fighting early in the morning, are you doing anything to prepare for that, changing your sleep schedule?
Como é que tá seu sono? Como é que você mudou a tua agenda de sono?
Olha, para te falar a verdade, poxa, são muitas horas de diferença do Brasil. Você tá passando por certo problema aí, não é só eu, muita gente aqui, a equipe também, para dormir. Então a gente estava à noite, passava a noite acordada, chegava de dia, dava umas cochiladas, aí, poxa, 2, 3 dias, quando o corpo estava cansado, é que você ia dormir realmente, tirava um sono, mesmo assim tirava o sono completo, né, a noite toda. E agora, poxa, entrou nessa semana de perder peso, então a gente está ficando bem mais cansado e está facilitando para a gente dormir.
Yeah, it's a lot. We're a lot of hours ahead of Brazil here, so it was rough for me and a lot of people to get into a sleep schedule. But we basically were napping whenever we could during the day. But now that we're cutting weight, I get more tired, so I'm able to sleep better.
And last one for me, just give us your thoughts on Peter Sobotta. Where is he dangerous, and what do you expect to see in this fight?
Onde que você acha que o teu adversário é perigoso? O que você espera ver dele nessa luta?
Poxa, onde que ele é mais perigoso é só no chão mesmo. E com certeza ele vai vir me jogar pro chão e eu vim para surpreender. Não só ele, como o mundo. Ele acha que no jogo de chão, né, que é fraco. Dessa vez ele vai se enrolar.
He just has a strong ground game, you know, and he's definitely going to come in and try to take me down, and I'm going to surprise him. He thinks that my ground game is weak, so it's going to get complicated for him.
All right, well, best of luck on Saturday. Thanks very much for the time.
Yes.
And we will take our next question from Alistair Bishop with MMA Republic. Alistair, you've been unmuted, sir. Please go ahead. Okay, actually, it looks like those are all the questions we had for you, Cowboy. Thank you so much for the time, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. As a reminder to media, if you are finished asking questions or no longer want to ask a question, please reselect the hand icon to be removed from the queue. Next up, we will be joined by Peter Sobotta, the UFC welterweight. We now welcome UFC welterweight Peter Sobotta. Peter, thank you for the time, sir.
Good to be here.
We will take the first question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hello, Peter. Hi. The obvious question, how's the Fight Island experience been for you so far?
The experience was very good. We are treated like kings. I feel like $1 million. And it's just great to be here and great to have a possibility to finally keep going.
I mean, you look to be in good spirits. Can you describe what a typical day is like for you, being in quarantine over there, and just how it works?
You know, the quarantine time is over. We had to spend like 4 days inside the room. That was a little bit like sitting in jail, sitting in prison. But now we are able to move around the island, and it's good. A typical day is not very different to any other fight week. You know, I'm training, I'm cutting weight, hanging out with my team. But here, I mean, the whole island is only for us, so we can move around everywhere. We are treated very good, so it's definitely a trip we will never forget.
There have been 3 events on the island already. Has it made you more excited or more nervous to see everybody else go first, and now but you're on the last one?
Oh, no, I'm not more excited. Like I watched some of the fights, not all of them. You know, trying to focus more on what I'm doing. Yeah, but just enjoying the experience. It's really great here. It's really great and a privilege to be able to travel in these times, because most of the people have to sit at home, you know, and we can be here. We are able to fight, to do what we love to do. So it's great.
What does Cowboy Oliveira bring to the table that makes him a dangerous opponent?
I think he's a good fighter for sure. He's a wild guy, unorthodox. He's very explosive and fast, especially in the first round. So that's like probably the most dangerous round, the first round. Yeah, he's a wild guy, you know, and a little bit difficult to prepare for him. So I have to stay calm, have a cool head, open my eyes, see what's coming. And yeah, if my plan works out, I'm pretty confident and sure I can win this fight by finish.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. That actually looks like all the questions we had for you, sir. Appreciate the time.
Great. Thank you. See you guys.
Thanks. And next up, we will be joined by number 9 ranked UFC women's strawweight Marina Rodriguez. We now welcome the number 9 ranked UFC women's strawweight in the world, Marina Rodriguez. Marina, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We will take the first question from Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press. Excuse me.
Thanks very much. And Marina, welcome back. I wanted to ask you first of all about your corner and this fight being pushed back. I do hope your cornerman's recovering well, by the way, but were you worried about this fight not happening at all?
Nos deram notícia ali que o meu segundo corner deu positivo no teste. Ficamos um pouco apreensivos porque é o protocolo do UFC, né, não enviar a equipe, mas pô, graças aos esforços aí do UFC Brasil, junto com o pessoal de Las Vegas, meu manager, conseguimos adiar a luta. Meu corner tá bem, não tá sentindo nada. Teve e não teve o coisa, já tá o Covid, mas já tá bem.
Yeah, my corner is pretty well. Like he didn't really have any symptoms. We were a bit surprised when he tested positive, but due to the protocol from the UFC, you know, they held us there, the hotel for a little extra time. But luckily, we were able to just change the date of the fight and not cancel it. You know, they appreciate it for the work that UFC Brazil, the UFC, and my management.
Something of an odd record in the UFC, but with 2 wins and 2 draws. How important is it for you to avoid the judges and make this a statement win?
Eu acredito que os 2 empates para mim são 2 vitórias, pois eu consegui evoluir bastante e venci não deixando na mão dos juízes nessa luta agora. Vai ser bem importante acontecer, pois estou bem evoluída aí no jogo e acredito que essa vitória não chega na mão dos juízes.
Yeah, not making to the judges is going to be a great thing in this fight. I evolved a lot this time that I had off between the fight cancellation and everything. So I think I have the tools to finish the fight before the judges. But overall, I have the 2 draws, but I won most of those 2 fights. So in my mind, I consider those 2 wins.
And there's certainly an argument to be made that you did have wins in those fights, but is it frustrating knowing that if those were wins, you'd probably be in the title conversation right now?
Realmente, 2 vitórias, você estaria na conversa.
Com certeza, o resultado final do papel é o que vale, mas para a gente o principal ali desses 2 empates é a evolução, que com certeza vai interferir nas minhas lutas seguintes e quem sabe aí nessa possível disputa aí um dia.
For sure, at the end of the day, the W is what really counts for, my evolution inside the organization. But I'm really happy with the evolution that I had inside the cage. That is the thing that is going to make sure that I'm able to get to the top and keep on climbing the ranks and eventually get my title fight.
And last one for me, just talk about this matchup with Carla Esparza. Obviously, she's a former champion herself. What do you think of the pairing, and where do you think a win over her puts you?
Acredito que uma vitória em cima da Carla Esparza, que é uma atleta muito experiente, ex-campeã aí da categoria. Acredito que uma vitória em cima dela vai me elevar bastante no ranking e me deixar próximo aí de uma possível disputa de cinturão. E é uma luta bem casada, né? Título de ranking, e acredito que a briga de estilos ali vai ser bem interessante para o público.
Yeah, overall, I think it's a fight that is going to push me even closer to a title fight. Being a former champion is always good for your record. Style-wise, I think it's a good clash of styles and should make for a very entertaining fight for the fans.
All right, thanks very much, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Diego Ribas with AG Fight.
Alô, Marina?
Oi.
Tudo bom? Tá me vendo? Beleza.
Bom,
Marina, me tira uma dúvida. Ao todo, você ficou quantos dias em quarentena, somando o hotel em São Paulo, o voo e o hotel em Abu Dhabi?
São Paulo foram 10 dias e chegando em Abu Dhabi mais 2 dias.
Certo. Com 16 horas de voo, vamos supor...
Mais o confinamento no voo, 13
Dá
dias.
quase 2 semanas de isolamento. Quanto 2 semanas antes da luta pode atrapalhar no treino, ou até mesmo principalmente no corte de peso?
Não, com certeza se eu estivesse na academia treinando, estaria tudo 100%, mas acredito que a blindagem da minha mente aí, feita pelo meu coach, é o que vale mais. A gente conseguiu treinar dentro das dificuldades, mas o que importa é a cabeça, né? A cabeça está centrada e saber que o principal objetivo aí é estar pronta no dia da luta. E acredito que mais essa semana aí, 2 semanas que a gente teve de treinos aqui em Abu Dhabi livres, né? Podendo treinar tranquilamente no quarto de treino, foram suficientes aí para finalizar o nosso camp.
Show. Minha próxima pergunta era justamente esse aspecto mental, porque atleta, você é uma pessoa muito ativa, sempre treinando, enfim, ficar confinada num espaço reduzido, que é um quarto de hotel, por tantos dias, e muitas vezes sem contato físico próximo da pessoa, de alguma outra pessoa. Como você fez para driblar isso? Assistiu muito filme, leu muito livro? O que você precisou fazer para ocupar o tempo?
Não foi grandes esforços, não. Acho que o tempo vai passando e a cada hora que passa, eu particularmente, minha mente é tão blindada que eu fico pensando só no próximo treino, seja individual, né, ou quando a gente conseguiu já treinar em dupla ali com o meu coach. Então, acredito que para mim não foi tão difícil assim, não. Consegui lidar bem com a situação.
Maravilha. Não sei se chegou a ver, a Amanda Ribas mencionou que gostaria de enfrentar a vencedora da sua luta, né, entre você e a Carla Esparza. O que você achou desse, entre aspas, desafio, e te interessa fazer essa luta? É a luta que te faria sentido na sua caminhada dentro do UFC?
Não. No momento, eu acredito que não, mas não é uma luta interessante para mim. Eu penso sempre um pouco mais na frente, né? Eu estou enfrentando agora a número 7 do ranking, vencendo, né? Obviamente, vencendo a Carla, eu tenho planos maiores, né? Para mim, dentro da organização. Então, essa luta com ela, para mim, não é interessante no momento. Mas o UFC que manda, né? Se quiser achar que é interessante, que vai ser bom por em algum motivo, com certeza eu aceitaria. Mas agora não tenho muito interesse, não.
Certo, quando você mencionou planos maiores, tem algo que você possa dizer, algum nome, ou só questão de ranking mesmo?
Vamos deixar que é questão de ranking. Vamos ver como é que vai ser a luta no sábado. Vencendo, vocês vão saber.
Tá, ok. Última pergunta para mim. Então. Quer dizer que você vai fazer um desafio, então, vencendo ali no octógono.
Não quer dizer, vamos deixar o tempo rolar.
Tá, minha última pergunta, então, para não tomar muito mais tempo. Desde que entrou no UFC, né? Você já pegou Jéssica Aguilar, Tícia Torres, a Cíntia Calvillo, agora a Esparza. São grandes nomes, a Carla já foi campeã. Isso demonstra mesmo, claro, que uma confiança do UFC de te colocar contra, entre aspas, os tubarões. E a minha pergunta é se você realmente esperava tanto desafio logo do começo, porque muita gente que estreia no UFC, entre aspas, faz o caminho mais longo. Atletas não ranqueados, enfim, você já está pegando o creme do creme ali. Era isso que você queria e te surpreendeu a sua postura do UFC.
Não, era exatamente o que a gente almejava aí dentro da organização. Primeiramente, entrar no UFC e se manter lá dentro, né, com qualidade e lutar com os melhores. Querendo ou não, a gente não tem muito tempo para perder fazendo lutas, né, digo, com meninas que não sejam ranqueadas, não que não sejam duras, né? Mas o nosso objetivo sempre foi lutar com as melhores. E se o UFC está me oferecendo esses atletas é porque confia no meu trabalho e a gente fica mais ainda motivado a mostrar o melhor e chegar lá no topo.
Maravilha. Obrigadão. Thank you, guys. That was my last question. Thank you.
And we will take our next question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cape Side Press.
Hello, Marina. Just a quick one, and I think you answered it in Portuguese, but in English, Amanda Ribas has said that she would want the winner of your fight with Carla. Can you just talk about if you're interested with that matchup?
No momento, não tenho interesse nessa luta. Não acho que é interessante para mim agora. Acredito que vencendo essa luta com a Carla, tenho planos maiores aí dentro da categoria. Acredito que o UFC também tem para mim. Então, não tenho interesse nessa luta não, no momento.
Yeah, to be honest, right now, it's not a fight that makes much sense to me. I think that with the win over former champion, I can aim for higher goals in the division. So, you know, never know where we're going to land, but on paper right now, I would be striving for a bigger challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marina. Those are all the questions we had for you.
Okay, thank you.
And next up, we will be joined by former UFC heavyweight champion and number 14 ranked contender, Fabricio Werdum. We now welcome former UFC heavyweight champion and number 14 ranked contender Fabricio Werdum. Fabricio, thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you, man.
We will take the first question from Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much, and welcome back, Fabricio. It's your second fight back now. You did take a lot of criticism after the last one. A lot of people saying you didn't look like yourself. Do you feel that was the time away? What happened with that fight?
Eu não consegui treinar como deveria, né, pela pandemia que aconteceu, que está acontecendo até hoje. Então eu preferi pegar essa luta rápido para poder pegar esse ritmo, né, que eu fiquei muito tempo parado e eu quero lutar mais vezes possível. Já estou com 42 anos e eu quero lutar mais vezes possível agora para acabar a carreira.
I didn't train as well as I should for that fight. You know, the pandemic was just starting, so I couldn't do as much as I could, even though the pandemic is on now. I just felt like I needed to take a fight and keep up my fighting pace. I'm 42 years old, so I want to fight as much as possible until the end.
Eu nunca tive uma luta de não fazer nenhum sparring. Eu não fiz nenhum sparring, eu não podia fazer porque estava bem no centro da pandemia, então eu não consegui fazer um sparring. E eu sei que uma coisa que eu aprendi que treinar online não funciona.
Yeah, I had never fought without sparring, and for that fight, I didn't spar at all. We were in the pandemic; we couldn't get people to go in there, and I learned that you can't do that online.
Have you been able to get some sparring in for this one?
Essa vez o treinamento foi muito completo. Eu realmente consegui fazer a sparring, a parte do jiu-jitsu, parte física que é muito importante e o trabalho mental também que eu acredito que a combinação do corpo e a mente é muito importante.
Yeah, we got a full camp now. We train jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, everything, a physical part and a mental part. So we got a full camp.
Were you surprised to see Gustafsson come up to heavyweight? And what are your thoughts on fighting him? What makes you want to fight him?
Eu não achei não surpreendi não, porque eu acredito que ele e o John Jones são pesos pesados que baixa de categoria, né, para 93 quilos. Os caras são, o John Jones é do mesmo tamanho que eu, o Gustafsson um pouquinho maior. Então eles são inteligentes para baixar de categoria, mas eu não me surpreendi não. Eu acho que quando eles não estão lutando, eles estão com um peso de 100 e poucos quilos, né, 105, 108 quilos quando não estão lutando. Então eles são um peso completo na minha cabeça.
No, I wasn't surprised because I think him and John Jones are two heavyweights that cut down to light heavyweight. You know, John Jones is my size. Gustafsson's a little bit bigger. So I think they walk around at 220, 230 pounds. So they're natural heavyweights.
And last one for me, I know you said you want to get a lot of fights because you are getting a little older. There's been a lot of talk about retirement at this event. Little Nog is retiring. Shogun says maybe just 2 or 3 more fights. Have you thought about how much longer you want to continue competing for?
A gente nunca sabe responder isso. É muito difícil para a gente, né, para os lutadores, parar de lutar, de parar de fazer o que a gente gosta, sabe? Então, é difícil eu te falar isso assim no momento, mas eu estou focado 100% no dia 25 e depois eu vou decidir o que eu vou fazer.
It's hard for us as fighters to know when that time is and to talk about that and to realize when that's coming. So we're going to have to talk about that after the 25th when I'm able to sit down and think about it.
All right. Thanks very much. Best of luck this weekend, Fabricio.
Thank you.
We will take our next questions from Augusto Niez-Gay with Somos MMA.
Hola Fabricio, ¿cómo estás?
Aquí estamos.
Primero que nada quisiera consultarte, recién lo decías, ¿cómo te afectó la pandemia para la preparación de esta pelea en relación a la pelea anterior?
La diferencia es completamente diferente. Sí, me afectó mucho la primera. Esta nada, pude entrenar como debería, he hecho todas mis cosas, como la parte física, la parte mental y sparring que no he hecho la otra vez. Me salió muy bien, de verdad que aprendí bastante, ¿no? de la pelea pasada y esta. Entonces estoy muy contento de estar ahí una vez más ahí peleando.
Y pensando en la pelea, ¿de qué tenés que cuidarte de Alexander Gustafsson y cuáles son las claves para vos poder llevarte la victoria el fin de semana?
Yo creo que tengo una pequeña ventaja en el suelo con él, ¿no? Justamente mi especialidad. Entonces, yo no tengo que cuidarme de él tiene que cuidar de mí, ¿no? Él tiene que estar preocupado con mi entrenamiento, que de verdad que lo he hecho muy bien. Entonces, estoy muy confiado para esa pelea.
Y bueno, en la previa de la pelea se habló de la sesión de sparring que tuvieron hace ya bastante tiempo. ¿Crees que eso puede llegar a influir, el hecho de que se conozcan ya de alguna manera?
No creo, porque hace mucho ya, eso hace como 8 años, creo yo. Entonces no estoy muy preocupado con esto y sí estoy preparado, entonces es lo más importante, ¿no? Yo sé que este momento, claro que es haciendo un sparring, ocurrió hace mucho, pero entonces para mí no me hace mucha diferencia, ¿no?
Y hablando de la isla, ¿no? De esta isla de la pelea, ¿qué es lo que más te ha sorprendido hasta ahora de todo? Hemos podido ver en tus historias de Instagram que has ido mostrando todas las instalaciones. ¿Qué es lo que más te ha sorprendido a vos?
Sí, todo eso que hicieron, ¿no? Esa isla la hicieron, entonces sí, eso es sorprendente, ¿no? De tener una estructura como esta, pero tampoco he visto mucho, sí he demostrado un poquito en el hotel, pero no he salido del hotel, estuve 48 horas en el cuarto, en la habitación, sin salir, ¿no? Por los test y todo esto, he hecho en Las Vegas, aquí, entonces de verdad que no pude ver mucho, entonces como te había comentado antes, como estoy muy concentrado, entonces no estoy preocupado en ver algo, ¿no? Yo quiero solo pelear y salir con la victoria.
¿Y crees que la cuarentena esta, el hecho de estar encerrado en el hotel, facilita la concentración para la pelea o lo puede hacer más difícil?
Tienes razón, de verdad que ayuda bastante, ¿no? Entonces, de estar ahí encerrado y sin salir, sin público, todo esto ayuda bastante, sí ayuda bastante porque la concentración es muy importante para nosotros peleadores y sí, estoy contento con esto, de verdad.
Y mi última pregunta, ¿crees que el tema de la diferencia horaria y el hecho de pelear en un horario particular, ¿no? Temprano a la mañana, puede volverse un factor?
Si no lo hace bien, sí, seguro que sí, pero estoy haciendo muy bien porque UFC nos cuida muy bien. Nos hicieron toda una programación como tiene que ser y todo eso, ¿no? Como tenemos que adaptarnos. Es poco tiempo, una semana, pero sí se puede y lo estoy haciendo todo bien para que pueda estar despierto en ese momento que voy a pelear a las 7 de la mañana, 5:30. Entonces me despierto ahora me estoy despertando a las 2, 3 de la mañana para poder entrenar. Entonces, de verdad que si no lo hace bien, seguramente puede afectar.
Perfecto, Fabricio. Buena suerte el fin de semana.
Vale, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We will take our next question from Kamel Abdul Rahman with Sama El Ain TV.
Hi, hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, Fabricio. Welcome to Abu Dhabi, first of all. So nice to have you here in Abu Dhabi.
Thank you.
You know, with your background in jiu-jitsu, you know, you've left a huge footprint on the sport. We are a huge jiu-jitsu city here in Abu Dhabi, and we have a very big fan base. What does it mean for you to compete here in the city in Abu Dhabi?
Eu estou bem feliz de estar aqui, é a segunda vez que eu vim a Abu Dhabi, então com certeza eu sei que o Sheik, né, tem um programa de jiu-jitsu aí, eu acho muito legal e eu vou poder sábado dar um grande show pro pessoal ver que eu tenho um bom jiu-jitsu e a galera vai gostar porque eu sei que o pessoal de Abu Dhabi é muito fã do jiu-jitsu.
I'm really happy about being here. I know that it's my second time coming here to Abu Dhabi. I know that there's a big culture here that Sheikh invests a lot into jiu-jitsu, so I'm glad to be able to show everyone my jiu-jitsu here in Abu Dhabi.
We've seen a few submissions in the last couple of cards on the Abu Dhabi Fight Island. We're hoping for a submission from your side. Are you going to be focusing on displaying your jiu-jitsu, or are you going to be mixing it up with the striking?
Vai ser muito importante, depende como for a luta, né? E se eu puder nocautear, óbvio, né? Se eu tiver a oportunidade, mas o foco com certeza é no chão e eu sei que o Gustafsson sabe disso.
It really depends how the fight plays out. You know, obviously if I have the opportunity to knock him out, I'm going to go for it. But you know, the focus is always on the ground, and Gustafsson knows that.
Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
We will take our next questions from Alfredo Bush with Claro Sports.
Gusto saludarte desde México, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias.
Qué bueno, Fabricio. Oye, pues preguntarte, ¿cómo encuentra un peleador como tú, tan experimentado, con tantos años en este negocio, la motivación para seguir buscando un nuevo reto y encontrar una nueva pelea y seguir peleando simplemente?
Sí, porque eso es lo que me gusta hacer, ¿no? Estoy muy contento de estar haciendo lo que me gusta en mi vida y poder vivir de eso, ¿no? Entonces, la motivación es de entrenar y estar activo, ¿no? Todo ese momento para poder hacer una buena pelea y seguir ahí con lo que me gusta de verdad.
De todas las experiencias que te ha tocado vivir, esta de ir a la isla de las peleas, a Abu Dhabi y demás, ¿cómo ha resultado para ti?
Sí, de verdad que no he visto mucho, ¿no? Por el tema de la pandemia, ¿no? No podemos ver muchas cosas, pero sí la estructura de aquí, de verdad que es impresionante lo que hay, lo que hicieron y UFC nos está cuidando muy bien aquí. He tenido mucha experiencia en toda mi vida en Japón y otros lados, he peleado por todo el mundo, ¿no? Entonces, un momento muy especial también que estuve en México, unos 2 meses y medio en la altitud. Entonces, sí, he visto muchas cosas en mi vida, pero sí, es impresionante lo que hay aquí.
En tu carrera me imagino que has pasado por muchos momentos, pero a tu edad se disfruta más el proceso, todo lo que vives, ya sabes lo que va a pasar, cómo es la preparación y simplemente lo que a lo mejor está medio desconocido es la pelea, pero ¿lo disfrutas más ahora que antes?
¿Me estás llamando de viejo?
No, para nada.
No estoy bromeando.
Viejos los cerros y reverdecen.
Sí, de verdad que sí disfruto bastante, ¿no? Este momento, cuando era más joven, cuando tenía 20 años, disfrutaba bastante igual. Y es como te había dicho antes, ¿no? Disfruto porque es lo que me gusta hacer, ¿sabes? Entonces yo creo que no son toda la gente que tiene esa suerte de hacer lo que te gusta y poder vivir de esto, ¿no? Entonces, todo el momento estoy disfrutando.
Finalmente, Fabricio, ¿cómo has visualizado la pelea ante Alexander el sábado?
Sí, lo visualizo como una sumisión, le van al suelo y sí, claro que si se puede noquearle, lo haré. Pero sí, el plan vamos a llevar la pelea al suelo y seguramente él sabe que quiero llevar la pelea al suelo, pero tengo una buena estrategia para poder salir con la victoria.
Perfecto, Fabricio, muchas gracias, suerte.
Gracias.
And we will take our next questions from Andrew Whitelaw with Whitelaw Sport.
Fabricio, you fought some of the biggest names in heavyweight, almost all of them. Gus is new to the division. Where do you rank him in terms of a challenge in comparison to all the big challenges you've faced in the past in this division?
Como é que eu não entendi isso aí?
Ele falou que você já lutou com quase todos os
Todos,
grandes nomes da categoria. Como é que é lutar agora com um cara que está chegando nessa?
Sim, como eu falei antes, eu acredito muito que o Gustafsson já é um peso pesado que baixa para 93 quilos e justamente foi eu que escolhi essa luta, né? Quando me ofereceram algumas opções e eu vi o nome dele e fiquei feliz, né? Eu acredito que meu jogo casa com o dele para ser com uma vitória.
Like I said, I think Gustafsson is a true heavyweight that cuts down to 205. So, I had a few options, and when I saw his name, it made me happy. I think that our styles match up very well.
As a former champion and with that win over Fedor, a lot of people talk about you as one of the best heavyweights of all time. Aside from yourself, who do you think deserves most to be in that conversation as the best heavyweight ever?
Pô, eu fico muito feliz, né, de saber disso, né, de as pessoas acharem que eu sou um dos melhores pesos pesados do mundo. Eu trabalhei para isso, né, eu sempre quis ser o melhor e já consegui várias vezes, né, não só no MMA, mas no jiu-jitsu, no grappling e no MMA. Nas 3 modalidades mais importantes do mundo eu consegui ser o melhor, então eu fico muito feliz.
I'm happy to hear that people consider me one of the best heavyweights in the world. I always trained to be the best, and I was able to be the best in jiu-jitsu and grappling and in MMA. So I became the best in 3 disciplines.
Is there anyone that you would pick who you see as the best heavyweight ever?
É difícil eu falar isso assim, sabe, de dizer que eu sou o melhor. Eu prefiro que as pessoas falem que eu sou o melhor e eu aceito, né?
Quem mais você colocaria?
Melhores. Ah, com certeza o Fedor. Sem pensar, eu boto o Fedor como um dos melhores pesos pesados do mundo, né? Na minha opinião, ele vai sempre ser assim o melhor do mundo, né? O Fedor.
Definitely Fedor. You don't even have to think much about it. He's obviously one of the best in the world, or the best.
And there's a little bit of an old school feel about the card. We have, you're one of a few Pride legends on the card. I just wanted to know what was so special about that time in your eyes. What did it mean to you?
Você é algum dos caras do Pride, lutou nesse evento, né? Como é que era? Era especial aquela época?
Com certeza o Pride foi um dos eventos mais especiais que eu já lutei na minha vida. Eu já lutei vários, mas o Pride eu tenho um carinho muito grande pelo público também, que te respeita muito. E realmente eu nunca mais vou esquecer, né? Do Pride, né? E acho que o Pride na nossa cabeça vai ser eterno.
Yeah, Pride was very special. I fought in a lot of different promotions, but Pride was different. It was a different time, and it's going to stay with our hearts.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fabricio. That is all the questions we have for you. We appreciate the time.
Thank you. Valeu.
We will momentarily be joined by number 7 ranked UFC women's strawweight Carla Esparza. We now welcome former UFC women's strawweight champion and number 7 ranked contender Carla Esparza. Carla, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We will take the first question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hey, Cookie Monster, how's it going?
Great, now that I'm out of quarantine.
Talk to me about that. How's the Fight Island experience been for you in terms of, I guess, getting yourself ready during fight week without a lot of the, comforts of doing it at a normal schedule?
Honestly, it really hasn't been too far off of my normal schedule because I got all my training in at home this past week. So I normally take like 2 days off anyway. So I kind of just scheduled it so that my time here would be my rest days. So just kind of, it actually hasn't been too bad. And then when we got out of quarantine, like the first thing we did was hit a training session and then jump to the beach.
You just signed the new deal, and I think first congratulations, but I think everyone was surprised because you took aim at Claudia Gadelha, she took aim at you, and the fight didn't happen. Was the UFC just not into it or what?
I don't think that it's that the UFC wasn't into it. Like I actually was offered this fight with Marina and I was like, I want to fight Claudia. What's up with that? And apparently she just wasn't ready yet and they told me she wasn't going to be ready for a while. And I was like, can I wait? Like, how long is the wait going to be? They're like, it's going to be like a while until she's ready to come back. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to sit around and wait for it. Like, I want to fight. I want to stay active. I'm ready. Like, I didn't take any damage my last fight. Like, I want to go.
On the, this one is a big fight in the strawweight division. Obviously, there's a lot of jockeying for position outside of the top 3. Do you feel like this one could get you back into that conversation to be one of the players for the title?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm on a good little streak, and I think if I have a dominant win, then that will definitely get me back in that conversation.
My final question, obviously the fight got moved around a little bit in terms of the date. Can you just talk about having to make that adjustment in terms of your preparation?
Honestly, like, my phone was getting blown up in the morning by the manager, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, and he kind of explained to me what was going on with their positive tests of her corner and everything, and at first I was stressed out, but I really started to think about it, and I was like, well, it's kind of a short notice fight anyway. This gives me more time to prepare. And my coach actually had been out of town most of my camp, so I had another week at home with my coach and just more time to prepare at home. And I had a couple little minor injuries, boo-boos. I was just like, gave me a little more time to heal and get my weight down. Not that the weight is ever an issue, but just kind of get it exactly where I wanted it, because I knew I was going to be in quarantine, so not able to train as much. So, everything kind of just worked out, honestly.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.
We'll take the next set of questions from Gabriel Pangalangan with Dojo Drifter.
Hello from the Philippines, Carla. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm great.
All right. So looking at their opponent's skill set, what part of her arsenal do you think you have to watch out for the most?
Honestly, I think probably her most dangerous part of her arsenal is her clinch game. Her knees and her elbows are super sharp. She has a really nice clinch. She's been able to kind of frustrate a lot of people in that position.
And when it comes to your game plan, how do you see, when you visualize this victory, how do you see yourself winning this weekend?
I've been working on all parts of my game, but I feel like my submissions have been really nice lately. I've been pretty smooth. So, I've been working on a certain one of them, and I'd love to have my hand raised with one of those.
Yeah, and actually your opponent is undefeated, so you could actually give her that first loss of her career.
Yeah, definitely. It won't be my first time breaking someone's streak. So, always, I go in there to win,
Yes, and I was actually curious because fight weeks can get pretty hectic with open workouts and the media scrums. Do you prefer this, a more low-key fight week?
Yeah, it is nice just being able to kind of chill and focus, and all the stuff during fight week is great because it's just part of the process, but it is nice to just be able to focus on the fight. It kind of takes me back to my wrestling days, back in the day. You just showed up, you stepped on the scale, you stepped off, and then time to wrestle. It's just complete focus on what was in front of you. So it is kind of cool, but yeah, either way, I'm ready to fight, because even though we didn't have all the media stuff, there was a lot of other kind of stuff in the way, like the quarantines and testings and this and that,
Yeah, and lastly for me, we saw on your social media that you actually visited the Philippines. Do you think the Philippines would make a nice location for another Fight Island event in the future?
Oh my God, heck yeah. The Philippines is so amazing. One of my favorite destinations on the planet. It's so beautiful, and I think it would be great for a Fight Island event because, it's, most people speak English out there. It's beautiful. The weather's great. I don't really think you can go wrong with the Philippines. And, if there is one in the Philippines, count me in.
Well, we definitely hope for that, and we look forward to that. Best of luck this weekend, Carla. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will take our next set of questions from Kamel Abdul Rahman from Sama Al Ain TV.
Good evening, Carla. How are you?
I'm great.
First of all, welcome to Abu Dhabi. So nice to have you here. Just wanted to ask you, is there anything special you did to prepare for the fight, with the whole mystery of the Fight Island, the time difference, the jet lag?
There's nothing specifically I did for that, except just making sure to try to get my weight low, so that I wasn't sure what we were going to be coming to here. I knew we were going to have almost 4 days of no training, so I wanted to make sure to get my weight pretty low so that I wouldn't be stressing on that during fight week.
Cool. Okay, and I would like to have your reflections in general on the development of the strawweight division. You know, with you being one of the pioneers and the first champion, you want to have the belt for a while, but more recently the belt has been changing hands with Rose and Jessica and Whaley, with a lot of contenders as well throwing their names into the mix. How do you feel about the division being more competitive now?
You know, I think it's great for the division. You know, for me, like when you have like that one champion and like a Ronda Rousey or like a Chris Cyborg, like it's great and they're like a star. But for me, having like a few champions and you don't know who's gonna win, like it just makes a whole division and all the matchups more exciting. And I think that's what's made the strawweight division the most exciting of the women's divisions in the UFC.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Enjoy your stay in Abu Dhabi.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Carla. When the pandemic hit, we talked, and you were one of the fighters who was most outspoken about wanting to stay active and stay busy. Your second fight now during this time period. I know a little scared with the whole COVID-19 thing with your opponent, but are you happy to have this kind of schedule, and would you like to stay on this kind of schedule if everything goes well on Saturday?
Oh, definitely. I love it. You know, like if I come out with no injuries and, you know, I'm healthy, like now is the time to take advantage. There's so many fight opportunities for the fighters, you know, because a lot of people are kind of scared and, have concerns about the coronavirus. And, you know, a lot of fighters just aren't able to get the training in. So they're just hungry to have fighters on these cards. And, you know, if you're willing and you're healthy, like there's opportunity. And I think, you know, you got to take advantage of that.
Carla, where you're at in your career, you're a former champion. You're still ranked in, I think it's the top 6 of the division. But you fought Michelle Waterson, who is right around you in the rankings, and now you're fighting Marina, who is a couple spots below you. We hear a lot of fighters, you know, when they get to that top 5 or 6, they're not really interested in fighting people below them in the rankings. They're only focused on what's ahead of them. Why are you willing to take a fight against a Marina where, you know, hypothetically, she would gain more from a win over you than you would over her?
Yeah, I definitely think that's true. You know, like I think another win will just kind of add to my win streak and be great. I wanted to fight Claudia. I think that's a fight that, you know, we all, you know, supposedly we both want it to happen, but, you know, I'd rather stay active and just take fights right now than, you know, sit around and and wait unless it's like a huge opportunity, like a title fight. I think now is the time to just be active and get some wins under my belt. And you know, not to look past Marina or anything. She's, you know, a very talented fighter, but you know, that's kind of what I'm looking to do. And you know, I'm open and willing to fighting someone who's ranked above me, but I'm not gonna push away opportunity either.
And on the current win streak you're on, you know, 3 wins in a row, and we understand this is part of the sport, wins and losses, you're going to have those. But what do you feel like has been the biggest difference for you in these past few fights where you've been able to build a streak and beat some really good opponents? I mean, Alexa Grasso, very legit. Obviously, you know, Michelle Waterson, very legit. What do you feel like has been the difference in this win streak for you?
I think, you know, after I had, you know, my first 2 losses in a row in my career, I just kind of took a step back and really, you know, try to make some big changes, because it really made me take a step back and, you know, like what's going on, what do I need to do to, you know, prevent this from happening again? How am I going to evolve my game? And you know, like where are my holes? And I really think that's made the difference.
And last question, I don't want to make it too much about Claudia because I know that's a fight you really wanted. She ended up scheduling a fight at the end of September. I imagine you didn't want to wait that long to fight again, but at what point do you feel like that's still the logical next step if everything goes well for you, or do you just at some point have to stop chasing it because it didn't happen?
You know, I'm open to it. You know, I'm not gonna like push that away. But as far as like chasing it goes, I'm not chasing it or her or anything. Like I made my intentions clear and what I wanted, and you know, I didn't know that, like, you know, when she would be available again. All I was told is that it would be a long time until I would, you know, until the fight between us would happen. And, I wasn't willing to just kick back and do things on her terms and wait for her till when she was ready. So, you know, if it happens again, I welcome it. I've been asking for that fight, you know, for a bit. So, you know, whatever happens, happens.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. That looks like all the questions we had for you. We really appreciate the time.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Next up, we will be joined by the last athlete available today, UFC middleweight Darren Till. We now welcome the number 5 ranked UFC middleweight contender in the world, Darren Till. Darren, thank you for joining us today, sir. We will take the first question from Nesta McGregor with BBC.
Hey, good afternoon, Darren. How you doing? Not too bad, mate. Just coping with the heat. I can imagine. Well, listen, I'm in Manchester, and we know the north of London, England, the UK, everywhere has got your back this weekend, man. I just wanted to know, we spoke to Robert earlier today, who says, you know, he's kind of a smiley, happy-go-lucky guy. We know you like to slide in DMs and rile people up. Does that help you more get ready, or is that more about throwing people off their game?
It just depends on the opponent. If it's an opponent like Rob, why not have fun, you know, because he's a very respectful character. So there's no animosity there. There's not like, I'm not trying to like get in his head. Whether I am or I'm not, you know, I don't think I am, to be quite honest. I've just been having a joke and a laugh at him. But then there's other times with opponents where, yeah, you know, sometimes it gets a little bit more heated and words get exchanged and so forth, so on. So I just think it depends on the fight and the person you're fighting. And it's hard to like sort of smack talk a guy like someone like Whittaker.
It obviously makes it easier to punch someone in the face a lot harder if you kind of hate them, but I know exactly what you're saying. Sadly, was the underdog going into this, but where for you is this fight won?
Just through all my training, what I've been doing in the gym, through my strategy there. I've left my strategy to my coach, and we've been doing everything in the gym. So hopefully everything we've been putting into play in the gym is going to work in the fight. So I don't actually know what I'm going to do in the fight. I know it's programmed inside of me because my coach has been programming it for the past 8 weeks. So that's how my coach probably sees me winning the fight, off him programming everything into me.
Okay, just 2 more very quick questions, and I don't mean to stir, but I don't think you can do a press conference without Conor McGregor's name being mentioned. So let's say at the end of this, you're victorious on Saturday. Dana White says middleweight championship or Conor McGregor at Anfield, sold out crowd, and we can watch again. Which would you prefer?
Middleweight title. Conor McGregor's a lightweight. He's 2 weights below me.
Yeah. Wouldn't happen. You're not willing to drop down. The reason why I mentioned Anfield is because obviously you're a big Liverpool fan. They pick up the title tomorrow. Will you be watching? And have you got a message for the team?
You know what? No, I won't be watching. I'm here to look after myself and focus on what I've got to do on Saturday. So, you know, I hope the team do well, but I'm not really interested in what anyone else is doing or any other sports is doing. I'm here to do business on Saturday. I'm here for myself and myself only, and my team and my family.
Perfect. Nice and focused. Look, good luck on Saturday, man.
Thank you.
We'll take the next questions from Julian Kiewicz with Independent Media.
How's it, Darren?
Yep.
Can you just explain to me? I think I've listened along the grapevine about your reaction to that Masvidal fight. How did that change you mentally after that loss, and just your turnaround emotionally and mentally towards the fight game?
What was that?
Just after the Masvidal fight, how did that impact you in just getting more drive and getting back and just pushing yourself harder?
I didn't. I was sad for a long time, and I had to just sort of build myself back up over a long period of time, and just that sort of face some demons, and it was, you know, it was quite tough, but it was 2 fights ago, so, you know, I don't really think about it no more.
And then just tell us, in terms of the middleweight, are you going to be settling at middleweight now? Is this where you feel you're going to be comfortable?
Yeah, I'm quite comfortable at the weight. I'm close to the weight, so you know, I think it's a good weight. I could probably make welterweight if I tried for one last time. You know, if it was a big money fight or something like that. But I'm comfortable at middleweight. I feel like I've grown into it now.
Thank you so much. All the best for Saturday.
Thank you very much.
We will take the next question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press.
Darren, I think everybody's noticed that you've been very active on social media. Would you say you've been successful in doing what you wanted to do and getting your name in everyone's conversation?
I suppose so, but that wasn't the intention. The intention was just to sort of broadcast, you know, what I think's funny and what I think is having a laugh. And if people go along with that, which a lot of the people did, you know, that was good for me. And it seemed to really hit off, you know, during the lockdown and stuff for the months everyone was locked up. I just wanted to make sort of the experience for everyone. I know everyone had bigger problems. I just wanted to make my social media just, as I always say, real and fun. So, you know, I think everyone enjoyed it and it got in a lot of people's mouths, like you said.
I'm curious, no photoshopping yourself on Rob, if I'm not mistaken. And I feel like that was an easy one for you to take aim at.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Well, I'm fighting him, aren't I? So create a little bit of something there. But I've pretty much photoshopped my face on every fighter these days. So it's becoming quite a trend amongst the fighters in social media.
With all of the attention you've been getting, is it a little more disappointing for you that there's not going to be an audience on Saturday?
Yeah, I suppose there is, because, you know, it's good to have the crowd there, and I get a little bit more nervous with the crowd because it's like, you know, as I said, it's big stage, bright lights, and I'm probably going to treat it like a sparring session, and I always, you know, I'm very calm, cool, and collected in sparring, and that's when I fight my best. So hopefully I'll be bringing my best Saturday. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed, but, you know, it is what it is. You just have to crack on with it.
You've said that you've tried to talk trash to Rob, but in your words, it just didn't work. How would you describe it? Is it just friendly rivalry? Is it just a competition? How would you describe, I guess, the tension, if any, with Whittaker?
it's just business. It's just pure business. I got no hard feelings towards him. I wish him all the best in his life and in his career and his family. And you know, I can't trash talk a nice guy, and I don't see any fakeness inside of him. I don't see any, you know, Mr. Me. I don't see him putting any act on. So you know, I feel like he's a real guy, and I feel like he's a friendly guy, even though you know he is a beast inside the cage. So you know, Saturday it's just business, and then after that, you know, I won't hold anything towards the guy. You know, I wish him all the best, whether he wins or loses. I just, you know, I wish him the best.
Final one from me. Jack Hermanson had the big win over Kelvin Gastelum on Saturday. He said he wants the winner of you and Rob. Does that one interest you, or do you think you have your sights set on someone else if you win?
If I win, I'm fighting Israel Adesanya, and that's all it is to it.
Thank you.
We will take our next question from Joe Coleman with TalkSport.
Hi, Darren. Thanks for joining us. First thing I've got to ask, how was the Liverpool's Premier League title win?
Oh, it was good. I went down to I went to the ground, and but I couldn't stay long because I had training the next day, so I only stayed till about 1 in the morning and celebrated with all the fans. And there was a few Liverpool players there, so you know it was good. And then the next day, they all went down to the Albert Dock, like which is our sort of pierhead. It was good. It was good, really good.
Oh, amazing. I'm sure you'll get to properly celebrate after the weekend. Your story from kind of the streets of Liverpool, favelas of Brazil, you know, I love the story of you having had Nogueiras and everything. To be where you are now, I mean, it must fill you with just an incredible sense of...
Yeah, I just, you know, I'm sort of living a dream. I've just bought my first house, and, you know, just coming out into this every day, another place, another main event, another city, another country. You know, I always speak with me and my coach and the guys. You know, we were sitting on the beach today, and we're truly we're blessed. But we've worked hard to be where we are. You know, we haven't got here by chance or by, you know, a lucky streak. We've proper put hard work and hard grafting. So, you know, we deserve to be here, me and all my team.
Of course, yeah. And we saw in your middleweight debut last time out, you were very composed. The game plan that you and Colin Heron had worked on obviously went into, you know, complete focus mode. Can we expect to see a similar type of performance, do you think, on Saturday?
I think we're going to stick to the game plan. I think maybe a little bit more of added aggression inside the octagon. But yeah, you know, always stick to the game plan. And if only I would have done it against Masvidal, I would probably be on the cover of EA Sports right now. So, but you can't fight every fight perfection, and it's not like that. The fight game is certainly not like that, especially in MMA. That's why it doesn't matter who you're fighting. They could have a big belly or anything. You can never underestimate or overlook any fighter. And I sort of overlooked Masvidal a bit, you know, because he was a bit tiny at them fucking cars, mate. You're getting petty buns on it. I sort of overlooked him because he was a little bit tinier. I beat Stephen Thompson, and Stephen Thompson beat him comfortably. So maybe I did. Maybe on my part I did. But, you know, you live and you learn. I'm only 27, and I'll probably learn much more. You know, I haven't even hit anything yet. I haven't even started to begin. This is all just fun right now.
Of course, yeah. I mean, congratulations as well. You said there about the house. Congratulations about that. You've mentioned Adesanya as well a lot. I know that that's the name you want. That's who you want. Dana White has mentioned potentially bringing back the Ultimate Fighter. Now, I can imagine you two as coaches, that would be just absolute blockbuster stuff. Is that something that maybe tickles your fancy? Could you see yourself doing that?
Yeah, for sure. If him and Costa don't do it, and if him and Costa don't fight, which I don't know if I see it. Yeah, I'll step in. Like after this fight Saturday, you know, if all goes well and I win, I'm gonna jump straight back. I'm gonna have a week off and jump straight back into training and stay ready for September time. And you know, something could happen. You know, even if the fight doesn't go ahead September, and you know, decide to make it tough and it's me and him, yeah, I'm all for that. And as I said, it's another experience, and it's another, you know, it's sort of another medal to everything I've already, you know, achieved and done. So yeah, I'm up for it.
Excellent. And just one last one from me, Darren. Tom Aspinall, your teammate's making his debut. in the UFC as well. I mean, British fans have seen just a glimpse of what he's capable of. What do you think the world is in store for? Because I mean, he's got so much pedigree, hasn't he?
Yeah, you know, I train with him on a daily basis, and I struggle with him even in my department where I'm a master at, you know, striking. He's such a fast guy for heavyweight. You'll hear everyone who trains with him or sees him saying it, and even who sees him fight, he's so fast for heavyweight. He dances around like nothing I've seen. And, you know, I can only speak from what I've seen in the gym and from his preparation. That's all been 100% and perfect, and his diet. But it's all down to him now, how he performs. It's not down to me or down to Colin. It's all on him. He's got to go out there. He's got to show the world. He's got to perform. He's got to, you know, even if he goes out there and it's a 3-round masterclass between both of them and he wins or loses, you know, he's just got to go out there and show the world and show Dana White why he deserves to be here. And I truly believe he does deserve to be here. So it's all on him now. I've got nothing to do with the man anymore. He's going out there Saturday for himself, for his family. And, you know, I can't wait to watch him while I'm in the back getting warm.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your time, Darren, and good luck on Saturday.
We will take our next questions from Alistair Bishop with MMA Republic.
And how are you, sir?
You okay, mate?
Fantastic. Darren, my first question is you posted a bit of a transformation picture on social media. So how hard was it coming out of quarantine back into training?
It actually wasn't so difficult. I was quite big because obviously, you know, all we were doing was lazing around. But as soon as the lockdown was sort of announced from the government, I just carried on training once a day, wherever I could and however I could. So I was training, I was keeping in shape, but also I was eating a lot at the same time and, you know, getting quite big and buff. So as soon as, you know, the fight got announced, we just got back in and just sort of trimmed up a bit, cut a lot of stuff out. But with regards to being like fighting fit, I was quite okay because I'd stayed in good shape throughout lockdown.
You didn't have any of the Five Guys menu repeating on you when you got back to training?
Yeah, I did have that every day, like, I'm not going to lie.
Congratulations on the birth of your daughter. You also had a little quarantine surprise there.
Yeah.
How motivating is that for you now, becoming more of a family man and your family's growing? How does that motivate you now?
It doesn't. It never has. It never will. You know, why shouldn't, you know, obviously everything I do now, let's say financial wise and money wise, is all for my family and for my kids to set them up for life. But I was motivated before, you know, my family and my kids, and I'll be motivated, you know, I'll always be motivated now. And obviously there's sometimes, you know, when you're down and the images of them come into your head, but it's not to say that I'm not going to sit here cliche and say everything I do now is for them. You know, everything money-wise and financial-wise, and obviously for them to be proud of the father is right. But, you know, I just don't like it when people say, oh, there's extra motivation there. You should have been motivated from the start. You should have been motivated from the minute you started fighting. You should have had 100% in the gym every single day. I always say, if you're not going to give 100%, there's no point you going. And there's days like where I know I won't give 100%, and there's days I don't go, because it's pointless me being there wasting my time and wasting my coach's time.
You mentioned the heat briefly as you sat down. How hard? I was in Abu Dhabi last year for the Khabib card, and I know what it's like there. How hard is it to adjust to the heat moving around there at the moment?
It's at the moment it's quite sweaty. It's good. You get your little slight breezes, but it's hot. We went to the beach today and it was super hot. I think it was like 43, something like that. So, you know, it was sweaty. It was hard. It was hard to breathe.
Does it make weight cutting a little bit easier?
Fucking up, so.
Thank you, man. All the best.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Luis Green with MMA Crazy.
Hi, Darren. You mentioned before, obviously, about your teammate Thomas Aspinall making his UFC debut, but you've also got your teammate Mike Grundy as well. So, what's it like been on the run up to this fight, having them, you know, and having them being all together in the run up to this fight?
Yeah, it's like a team Cowboy takeover on Fight Island sort of thing. You know, there's about 7 or 8 of us out here, and we're all just chill. We haven't even spoke about the fight. Not one bit. We've just trained, we've chilled, we've went to the beach, we've ate, we're eating good food. You know, we're sleeping well, we're getting along, we're having laughs. That's what it's about. You know, we're all here to enjoy this experience, and then Saturday we're going to fight. So yeah, it's sort of like a little team Cowboy takeover, and you know, as I said before, with Tom Grundy and Tom are here to do their business, and I'm here to do mine. So, you know, let's hope we're all prepared and we're all going to show for it on Saturday.
Yeah, nice. And obviously Whittaker being a former champion, how important is this matchup for you? And, you know, in terms of getting you closer to a shot at that title?
It is important. I want the title. I want the fight Adesanya, but you know, I'm putting every ounce of energy and spirit and soul, everything I've got into this fight, because this fight means everything to me. Like every fight I fight means everything to me. So, you know, obviously I think about the belt, and I think about fighting Adesanya, and I think about fighting welterweight again. But you know, when I've been in the gym and everything, every ounce of energy, soul, and spirit I've got has gone into beating Robert Whittaker. That's all that matters right now.
And you know, when you think about the fight, how do you imagine it playing out?
Me knocking him out. Hopefully, I don't ever imagine him knocking me out. You know, so that's it. I imagine myself knocking him out. Hopefully.
Okay, cool. And you obviously mentioned about, you know, you want Israel Adesanya next if you do get the win. What is your prediction for Israel taking on Paulo Costa next? How do you see that playing out?
We'll have to see. I'll have to make the prediction when they've both made weight, because, you know, up to now, nothing seems concrete. But I think it's a 50-50. I think Adesanya a little bit more, because he's a bit more technical. But Costa's a big power puncher, and he's powerful, and he can go the 5 rounds. So I think it's a 50-50 fight at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And we will take our last questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Darren, you mentioned, you know, maybe for a super fight for a lot of money, you would consider going back to welterweight, but you seem so much healthier and happier at middleweight. Is it weird to think about making those cuts to welterweight? We see Anthony Johnson now. We're like, how did that guy ever make welterweight? Do you feel the same way? You're like, how did I ever do that to myself?
Yeah. Because I get dry now when I'm like cutting to middleweight. Not so dry, but you know, I can sort of feel my bones, and like my muscles pop out a bit more when I'm like getting below the 90 kilos. And when I used to make welterweight, you know, when I was getting, you know, when I was around like 88, 87, 89, I was still big, you know, I was still buff and that and stuff. But now, like I'm under the 90s, close to middleweight, and I can feel all my bones sticking out. So it's just weird that my body's made that much of a change in so quick time. But you know, if it was dead and the money was right and the fight was big enough, I could do one last hurrah. You know, I know Usman's the champion now, so you know, you never know. You never know.
You mentioned, you know, Robert Whittaker, former champion. This seems like a perfect fight for you to earn the title shot, but we've seen Robert has gone through some wars, you know, the fights with Yoel Romero, obviously the knockout with Adesanya. Do you feel like, you know, testing his chin will be a big part of this fight to see if he can still take that damage? Because we know you can only take so many punches in this sport.
Yeah, of course. You know, I feel like it's one big thing I've always thought throughout my career, that the wars take the toll on you, and whoever you are, you can see them taking the toll. Like, you know, when you look at guys, no disrespect, but when you look at guys like Justin Gage, and I look at Max Holloway now, and sometimes I see glimpses of them like slaying a little bit because of the wars they've been in. And, you know, all respect to the wars, but it ain't a smart choice when you're fighting. You know, you want to sort of look in the direction of Floyd Mayweather, something like that. You know, he's 40 plus, whatever he is now, and he's got all his brain cells and that because he hardly got it. So I think them wars, yeah, they're good, but they take the toll on you, and they do take the toll on your chin. So I think anyone I touch anyway, you know, at middleweight now, I've found myself, I'm gonna hit with, you know, with that left hand. But you know, we'll see.
When you moved to middleweight, Dana White said, you know, when you moved up, you didn't want an easy fight. You didn't want to test. You wanted to jump right into the Gastelum fight, which he was coming off the Adesanya fight. And now you're getting a former champion in Robert Whittaker. Do you feel like the progression here going into a title shot would just make sense considering where Robert Whittaker is, former champion? It wouldn't make, do you feel like it wouldn't make sense to fight anything else but the champion after this?
Just look at my resume, you know, look at all my resume from welterweight. And now look at my resume, you know, at middleweight. Look at the two guys I'm fighting in my debuts at middleweight, you know. Of course I deserve a title shot. I've never campaigned for it. Even when I beat Stephen Thompson in my hometown, I didn't campaign for the title shot. But I feel like the stars have aligned now. I beat Gastelum, you know, easily, might I add. And he gave Adesanya the most trouble. And now, you know, Saturday I see myself beating Whittaker. You know, I'm beating two of the best guys in middleweight. Where do you want me to go? Do you want me to go backwards? So, you know, all these guys calling my name, yeah, you know, we're probably going to meet someday. You know, I'm not avoiding you and you aren't avoiding me. But, you know, I'm looking forward. So we'll see what happens Saturday. So, you know, I beat Whittaker. I don't want to hear any other name come out of anyone's mouth apart from Israel Adesanya.
And last question for me, you mentioned Adesanya. You said that the fight would cost us 50-50. You could see it going either way. But in a weird way, would you find yourself, I won't say rooting, but kind of pulling to see Adesanya? Because would it mean more to beat Israel Adesanya for the title than beating Costa? Or does it matter?
I just think it's a bigger fight, me and Adesanya. I just think it's, right now, you know, obviously I don't want to talk too much about Adesanya. I've got a big person to fight on Saturday. But I think that fight could just be one of, you know, in top 10, top 5 of UFC's biggest ever fight. Me and Adesanya, I just think that's a fight that's just got to happen. But yeah, you know, if Costa wins, then I'll make a fight with him and I'll campaign for the fight against him. But we'll see. As I said, until I see both them guys weighing in September 9th or 11th, I think it is, you know, I'll believe the fight's happening.
Thanks, Darren.
Thank you so much, Darren. That is all the time we had for you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks. Oh, them fair.
That concludes today's virtual media day. We would like to thank everyone for joining today's event and your supporting coverage. If you have not yet registered for the UFC Fight Night Whittaker versus Till post-fight media availability and you wish to do so, please register today. We will distribute video and audio downloads from today's event to your emails as soon as they are available. Have a great day, everyone.